Jen, do you want me to tell you about the history about how he fell in love with New Mexico? He was a sick young man. He was sickly.
Tuberculosis.
Well, I don't think it was TB, but his parents were exceedingly wealthy. And they would send him to a ranch in the Pecos that was owned by a Mexican family. They were Mexicanos, and they owned a ranch there. And he traveled there, and eventually his brother did too. And they fell in love with New Mexico. And in the film, he makes it very clear. There's that saying that was attributed to him about how the two loves in his life were New Mexico and physics. And by establishing Los Alamos, he joined the two, he married the two. And one of the things I want to say is that I don't have any sympathy for Robert Oppenheimer because I've lately been saying he and my dad had a very similar cancer that took their lives, right? The difference between Robert Oppenheimer and my dad is that my dad wasn't a chain smoker and he never had a martini. Never. My dad never, I guarantee my dad never tasted vodka. He might have a beer every now and then, but my dad wasn't a drinker, wasn't a smoker, didn't use chewing tobacco, and he got oral cancer twice. He had no viruses. I asked the doctors, how does this happen? Twice. These were two distinctly different cancers, and they said it is so rare, but we see it all the time in New Mexico. And so while Robert Oppenheimer was incredibly flawed and was a chain smoker and a heavy drinker, he got throat cancer, but my dad was none of those things and he got oral cancer. And that is the history and the legacy of Robert Oppenheimer falling in love with our state. He came here, he established this horrific institute that we've lived with ever since, right? Like Beata said, the labs are still an invasion of our lands and our lives. And he established that and left basically. And we have dealt with the consequences ever since. And